Mayor Bain,
I'm here.
Vice Mayor Petrolanda,
Here.
Councilman Best,
Present.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes, here.
and Councilwoman Zapata is absent today.
She's not here.
She's absent. She's absent, yeah.
Okay, we want to give her your title and introduce yourself.
Deputy City Clerk, Juan Garcia, and thank you guys for having me.
Okay, thank
Nice
you
to
for
see you,
being
Madam
here.
Clerk.
He did it
He won. I
again.
wouldn't have done
Got you
that.
again.
I wouldn't have done that one.
Got me.
He's been saying that all night.
This is your first time, I think.
It is.
It is.
It's first time ever.
Yep. In my 3 years of being here, this is my first time. So thank you guys.
You're going to look good on camera because you're very photogenic.
Why don't we complicate the meeting a little bit? Lots of
Okay.
procedural issues.
We go to invocation, Vice Mayor Petrolanga.
Please stand if you're able. Help us to work together to encourage each other to excellence so we may challenge each other to reach higher and further, to grow and learn from each other in the process of serving others and become the best that we can. Amen.
Amen. Right hand over your heart. Say the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for
which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I don't see anybody here to pick up the yard of the month. So we're going to save that for maybe next week. And then we have a Jose Fuentes, our city lobbyist, is going to give us an update on items. You have the floor, sir.
Sorry. Mayor and members, Vice Mayor and members of the council, thank you for having me here tonight. I guess there was some questions that were pending from last meeting, but I guess I will go over first the appropriations request that the city has. Currently, the city has 3 appropriations requests. South Point Sienna is one of them, the median, the meals program, and also the seniors building. Just for your information, we're obviously still in the appropriations process as we really don't conclude until the end of session, and hopefully that's around the corner very quickly in May. We have a position in each one of the items for money, so that's a good thing at this time. I think that our state representative Brian Avila, Senator Manny Diaz have been working very well with us and looking out for the best interests of the municipality. I can tell you that there have been, obviously there's always a hiccup in the appropriations process and in the bills, but they've responded quickly and made sure that the city is in a good financial position for going into the rest of the appropriations process. I don't know if you had any other questions on those items?
No, Mayor.
Okay. And just
What's
to,
your,
yes,
thanks for being here tonight, by the way.
yes.
It's always an interesting time of year for you, isn't it?
Yes, it's great to be in session. I love session.
Line item by
This is
line
my
item.
34th session.
I know, Jose, I know this. Line item by line item, how does it look in your view?
I think, from an appropriation standpoint, I think Miami Springs is probably in better position than most municipalities throughout the state of Florida. And I think that's in part because we've got a leader who's, State Representative Jose Oliva, who is the Speaker of the House. I think that the leadership position that Representative Brian Avila, who resides in Miami Springs, has is also a good thing. And I think that the dedication and that we have from the state senator and Manny Diaz puts us in a good posture. So saying those things, those are things that are critical. The stars don't always align, as you know. And I think the other part that's critically important is that though we have a new governor in the executive branch of our government, we also have a very strong lieutenant governor, which is, I think, in the first time in Florida history where the lieutenant governor has such a strong position. And I do think that, Lieutenant Governor Nunez is doing a phenomenal job in the sense of representing the best interests of Dade County and South Florida. So it helps us a lot. And one of the things that, as you know, through this process has always been a critical point is once you get almost to the finish line. I always think like a marathoner, you're almost there to the finish line. You got a quarter mile to go. You should have enough energy. And then the governor, whoever's in office, decides that you don't quite have the energy and you don't get the medal. I think that in this, and I don't want to assume anything because it's very preliminary, but I think we're in a good position again in that sense.
On all 3 line items.
Yes, at this time.
Thank you, sir.
In fact, there's been a bump up on amount. So, any other questions?
Can you let us know the status of the annexation?
Yes. So week before last, I met with the county staff in the Office of Budget and Management, and we've been advised that the item is moving forward and should be on the agenda in May. Remember, one of the things with the Office of Budget and Management is that item, specifically on annexation, is sometimes they tell us, it's coming up in May and it ends up in June. But so I would say it's somewhere May, June, but May is the date that I've been given as of 2 weeks ago. It will go forth as a 4-city agreement. I've had conversations with your attorney, and we're obviously in a position to continue to go forth and work with our commissioner on that item.
The interlocal agreement is obviously in place between the 4 municipalities.
Oh, the interlocal, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's been any. One of the things that's going to happen next in this process before we get to May is that most likely the manager, the mayor, and myself will meet with the other cities like we had done in past versions of this and have a conversation to make sure we're all okay. Last time we went to commission, they had changed the mayor in Doral, and it just became a little messy in front of the commission. So we try to avoid that, so we'll have that meeting. I can tell you that I know there's been brief conversations between Mayor Bain and Mayor Dino on that side of the issue. I've reached out to Mayor Bermudez. I'm pending a response, and my next call after that will be with Mayor Martel in the town of Medley.
One thing that's maybe different from last time went up, 3 out of the 4 mayors started this. Bermudez, Mayor Dino, and myself. So it isn't like the last time when we were pretty much, and of course the mayor of Medley seems to be a straight shooter fella. So I think it might be a more cohesive unit than maybe the last time that they went up for this particular thing.
Interesting.
Right, and I think we're fortunate also that Dan has been involved, Mr. Espino has been involved in all 3 or 4 of the cities in one version or another. So that'll be helpful in the legal part. And Commissioner Sosa and Commissioner Diaz are obviously looking out for the best interests of their communities. I feel at this time that they're in a good position. We will continue to reach out to them to make sure that they feel comfortable, because they're the ones that are going to direct that part of the application.
Great.
I think there was one question, and I'll try to respond very briefly on it, which was the county's tax.
Bed tax. Yep.
I caution you to be
Yes, I will be
Thread
very,
lightly.
very
Yeah.
brief on this item. The item is being discussed in the legislature. It is, we have looked at the resolution that was passed by this body, this council, October 28th of 2018. That resolution is kind of the driving force behind a lot of what will happen on the bed tax, but I don't want to go into much further conversation as this is a really active issue.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to meet with me, I'm always available.
Anything else?
Yeah, see you next week.
Anything else?
No, that's it. I'm
Okay.
gonna go visit my daughter down the street, so that's my.
We want to talk about her opening. Well, I mean, why not? I mean,
Okay,
it's something to be proud of.
I am proud of. I am
I'm
proud of it, but
going,
I didn't know
so
I had the floor for that item, but Curaleaf, which is the largest TH provider in the country, is going to be opening a location down the street from here, 7400
At 50,
North.
50
No, 5400 Northwest 74th,
Yeah,
and it's going to be this coming
28th.
the 28th.
8th of March.
Right, at 3 o'clock. So if you'd like to see what they're doing, and again, this is for medical purposes, obviously. But I think it's a good thing because it's beneficial to the community and those individuals who obviously need the type of medicine that's being provided by Curaleaf.
It's from
Actually,
3 to 7.
3 to 7.
3 to
It's
7.
Actually, I applaud the our new governor for taking initiative in that area.
You know, I mean, and I don't want to
As you mentioned earlier.
but I think it's the right thing. I mean, there's a lot of people that need it for medicinal purposes, and I think that really should be the focus of it. So,
Okay, we wish your daughter great luck.
thank you. I'll tell her you
got it.
gave her a plug.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Is she opening it up herself, or?
No, she handles her marketing, so she has a group that's putting it together. It'll be one of many stores, but I think it's again, it's a growing trend, and it's good that our community has an opportunity for those who have the medical card to be able to get it, and on top of that, it's going to have a drive-through.
Okay.
Drive-through. Is that innovative or what?
But thank you for
Thank you,
allowing-
Jose. Thank you for the good work.
See you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you for the yard of the month?
Drive-through.
Is she?
Let me see.
Ask her.
Oh,
No, ma'am. Are you here for the yard of the month?
Oh, okay.
Too funny.
Wasn't sure.
we don't want to skip her.
All right, we have open forum. Anybody wishes? Oh, it's not a public hearing. Did anybody sign up?
For open forum, I don't think so. I didn't see anything. Really.
Come on, Juan.
What?
Juan, you let the attorney
Nobody?
get into the draw? Come on.
Okay,
Beat
we
me too.
close. Jan used to do that all the time and charge us.
No, he didn't.
All right, we go to.
What is this, a Johnny Carson show here?
Well, you give me the lines. I'll
I'm telling
take
you,
'em.
brother, I'm telling you.
I'll take them. We go to 6A, March 11th, 2019 regular council meeting. I entertain a motion.
Through the chair, motion to move, sir.
Second.
Do I have a second? Call the vote, please.
Vice Mayor Petrolando?
Yes.
Councilman Best?
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell?
Yes.
And Mayor Bean?
Yes. We go to reports, 7, no, 8, public hearing, no, 9, consent agenda.
Certainly. Recommendation by Public Works that council authorize the issuance of a purchase order to BTS Land Services utilizing the City of Hollywood contract number F4443-15RD attached in the amount not to exceed $30,000 for the purchase or tree trimming and delivery and installation of various trees throughout the city as funds were budgeted in the fiscal year 18-19 budget. Item 9B, recommendation by Police Department that council approve an expenditure in the amount of $19,014 to Safe and Sound Customs Corporation, the lowest responsible quote after obtaining 3 written quotes attached for emergency equipment for 3 2019 Dodge Chargers as funds were approved in the fiscal year 18-19 budget. And 9C, recommendation by the Police Department that council approve an expenditure to Loxia Technologies as a sole source provider in the amount of $39,750 for on-site labor for the new IT infrastructure as funds were approved in the fiscal year 18-19 budget.
I'll entertain a motion for consent agenda.
Motion to move a consent agenda.
Second, sir.
Any questions? Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Petrolando?
Yes.
Councilman Best?
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell?
Yes.
And Mayor Bean?
Yes. We go to old business. We have none. 11. New business, 11A.
11A, this is a request for council approval to use $10,850 from the general fund balance to cover the city's match under the awarded FDOT grant for the purchase of a new senior center bus. The Hialeah Miami Springs Rotary Charitable Foundation, Inc. has been awarded by FDOT a grant in the amount of $82,261 with a corresponding $9,140, the 10% match from the city. When staff requested an updated price quotation from Creative Bus Sales, Inc., the price of the bus had increased by $1,710, which would also need to be paid by the city. The total price of the bus is $93,111, less the $82,261 grant, leaves a difference of $10,850. FDOT will pay for the total cost of the bus, and we will reimburse them for the $10,850 difference. Attaches a quote for the bus and a copy of the grant agreement. The fiscal impact, the $10,850, is not budgeted and will need to come from available fund balance. Staff recommends approval.
I have a question, Mayor. How soon do we have to pay the 10,000?
Well, as soon as FDOT's going to order the bus, so it will take how long?
I think it was like a 6 to 8 week delivery time, and the 10,000 due is due upon delivery of the bus.
60 week?
6 to 8 weeks.
6 to
Oh,
8.
6 to 8.
There's no way we can wait until the next budget.
No.
Councilman, why would you say that?
So we don't have to take the money from the general fund. If we can fund it in the next budget, but obviously we don't have the time, we need to come up with it now. Make a
Okay,
motion.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to move, sir.
Second.
Second.
Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Petrolano,
Yes.
Councilman Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes.
and Mayor Bain.
Yes, we go to 11B.
I'll do it. This is a request of council to approval to execute the attached tree planting agreement related to the Neat Streets grant the city was awarded for the fiscal year that we discussed at a prior meeting. As staff notified council during the March 11th, 2019 council meeting, the city was awarded $15,002.20 grant from Miami-Dade County Neat Streets for planting trees citywide. The city will commit to match this amount from the current $25,000 we have budgeted for tree planting.
This is budgeted.
Correct. This is just for approval of the agreement so we can get the grant funds.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to move. Sorry.
Second.
Second. Call the vote, please.
Vice Mayor Petrolano,
Yes.
Councilman Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes.
and Mayor Bain.
Yes, we go to 11C.
This is a recommendation by Recreation that council waive the competitive bid process and approve an expenditure to Firepower Displays Unlimited LLC in the amount of $16,000 for the 4th of July fireworks display, as funds were approved in the fiscal year 18-19 budget of the city code. The Village of Virginia Gardens reimburses the city of Miami Springs $3,000, which brings the net cost to $13,000.
Through the chair, what has the cost been on this over the last 5 years?
The cost?
Yeah, of the fireworks.
It
It
runs about
seems-
the same amount each year.
It seems to me it's going up like a little quicker than normal.
No.
It's always run about
It's always
15,
15, 16,000?
I always thought it was like 12.
Yeah, to us. 'Cause-
No,
'cause
we get the match, the $3,000. I know that, but
Right,
it seemed
it
when I read the material on it, it seems to me that it was
It
considerably
used to
cheaper.
be 15 less 3 from BG. It will cost us 12. Now it's costing us 13, so it went up $1,000.
Okay.
This is the same through the chair. William, is
Yes,
this the same company that we've used in the past?
yes.
Right.
Well, they do put on a nice display.
Yeah.
This is the first year they raised it 1,000, correct?
I believe last year was also 16,000.
I'd have to look it up.
Not a big deal.
It was a very long display of fireworks.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, they do a fine
But,
job every
yeah.
year.
It's
Okay, I entertain a motion.
motion to move forward this item.
Second.
Call the vote.
Do the other one.
Vice Mayor Petrolano,
Yes.
Councilman Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes.
and Mayor Bain.
Yes, we go to 11D. Process for selecting new food and beverage
Yes,
company.
On March 21st, 2019, we advertised a request for proposal 03-1819 for the food and beverage operation services for the Miami Springs Golf and Country Club. We are currently in the cone of silence, and responses are due on Wednesday, May 1st, 2019. A selection committee team of 3 to be determined, along with myself, will oversee the procurement procedures. They'll be evaluated and ranked. The responses will be evaluated and ranked. We anticipate having a recommendation go before council at the May 13th, 2019 meeting. However, staff would like council to consider the following. 1, council can consider the recommendation made by the selection committee team and approve an award at the May 13th meeting. Or 2, if council chooses, you may wish to hear presentations from the respondents, reevaluate the scores, and score the shortlist responses and establish a new ranking and make a recommendation to award a new food and beverage operator. If council chooses option number 2 and would like to hear presentations and have the opportunity to rank them again, we ask council's assistance on how they would like to proceed with this process by answering the following questions. 1, would council like presentations from all of the responses or just the top ranked ones, and if so, how many? The top 1, 2, 3, etc., and how many in total? Number 2, do you wish to schedule these when do you wish to schedule these presentations? At a regular meeting or a special meeting? And number 3, how long would council like to spend with each presentation? Time for Q&A time. Typically in the past, we have scheduled a 10-minute presentation and a 20-minute Q&A session for a total of 30 minutes each. In addition, the order in which each is heard is through a double-blind draw through where the first number picked is the order in which to hear the presentations, and the second pick is the name of the respondent to make the presentations.
Through the chair, I think we deserve it to ourselves and to the community more importantly, that we do a special meeting and look at the initials before we, you agree, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I like to be part of the process myself.
Yes, yes.
The selection process?
Yes, selecting, yes. I
But-
like, I like,
Well, we will be
item
ultimately, I mean.
two. Yeah,
But-
item 2 though.
But
Or-
okay, do we agree on the top 3 or top
4?
4?
Top 4.
Top 4?
Four's fine, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you agree with the 10 minutes, 30 minutes apiece?
Total, right, or
It's gonna-
maximum? We're ta-
I think, it's hard to tell how these things go.
Some will and some
Based on
won't.
the
Some
experience
will
that
and
we've had
some,
in the
you know.
past, we may be asking more questions than we have in the past, so I'd rather not limit ourselves, say approximately 30 minutes, and if
Right,
we
we
feel
do-
we need more.
We do
is
want to
that-
give them a time frame so they can prepare accordingly for
Approximately, right.
presentations.
But-
So
Or we can go over if we
Right,
need
Yeah,
I-
to.
you know-
some will probably go over and some will be less even.
Yeah, we'll have the option, but we're going to set it at 30 minutes.
30 minutes, yes.
Okay, what was the
Maximum.
third one?
When?
A special meeting or
Yeah,
a regular meeting?
Yeah, well, all right, when are you supposed to have the everything in by, what was it, the 1st of what?
May.
May? So,
One May, yeah.
May, so what do we have scheduled in May as far as council meetings?
Council meeting in May are on the 13th, May 13th, and the 28th because of Memorial Day.
Okay,
which is
May
Tuesday.
13th. What do we have like in the middle there, like on a Tuesday, between 2 meetings? What date would it be?
7, 6, something like that.
14?
14?
14?
I'm not available. I'll be out of town the 14th.
No, no good. It's not good.
How about, when are you going to be back in town?
Maria?
We can do the
How
20.
about
I'd
How about the
rather-
20th is in between?
20th?
20th.
That's a Monday.
Monday the 20th?
Do you have anything going on here on the 20th?
No.
No?
Monday the 20th?
Could we do it before the 14th? I have
The 7th? Oh, the 6th or 7th?
town a lot.
Well, we
6 is a Monday.
get a
May,
meeting
May
on the
8th,
13th.
May 8th
which
is a Wednesday?
Yeah.
Or that Tuesday after May, yeah. When Tuesday?
May 8th?
At the beginning of May?
It's not going to be till the 13th that we get.
The
a
recommendations aren't coming till the 13th.
Correct.
Oh,
Right.
correct, I see that.
So the 20th would be a good time to do it. Give everybody, so I would,
If that works for Councilwoman Mitchell, yes.
well, we could set the 20th and then we can evolve from there. We got another meeting before that.
Right.
or
When
two.
will you be back, you said?
I have my daughter's wedding during that time, and I'll be out of town. It's out of town.
Until when?
So,
From the 14th, right? You said 13th?
well, yeah,
Until when?
because we have till after, I'm flying back on the day of our meeting right after Memorial Day.
The 13th.
The
Oh,
No, the
13th.
20.
The 20th.
The 20th.
20. I'm
28th.
flying back that Tuesday.
Well,
So,
I,
The
you know,
21st, Mayor?
just go ahead and, I don't know, schedule,
No, that's not right.
if it's not before
Um,
May.
well, I don't, I understand.
Maybe-
But I
maybe-
don't want to delay it till now, we're,
Yeah, right.
uh,
You're getting it all in and it's
Could we
under.
do it after the meeting, after the Memorial Day meeting, the 28th? Could we do it the 29th? Which would be the Wednesday, it's still in May? What is that, 20?
The 29th. That's a Wednesday.
That's the
Right.
Wednesday after our Memorial Day meeting? We'll be back in town for that. We have a
That's
meeting
fine.
Tuesday?
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Appreciate
Fine
that,
with that.
thank you.
Yep.
Because the
Yes,
others,
yep.
I just.
No, as a
can't make
courtesy,
commitment.
please. No,
Yes.
you need to be here for this. Through the chair, William, can I ask you, are we going to get to peruse through everything before we meet and have to sit up here? I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that would be,
Yeah.
I would like, I would
The
like to look at
information,
these.
you mean?
We would have to send you the 4.
I understand that.
presentations,
I
right?
understand
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
going to be some work for Erica and Juan, but I mean, still, I think that would be appropriate, though.
Right, so
It
we can
gives us
ask
a chance to
questions.
all
read
right,
the stuff.
so it's the 29th,
The Wednesday?
right? The special meeting's the 29th.
Mhm.
Okay, 30 minutes, top 4.
Mm-hmm.
What was the third thing? There were some, them were the three things?
Well,
They-
that was the three that was mentioned, but that we get all
And
the
then-
things to look over before.
And we get the four, the four presentations so we can read it over before.
How many days before you think we should have it?
So early as we can.
Right.
Well, it's going to be done on the 13th.
So we have, yeah.
Selection 13th, and you got till the 29th.
Would that be
7, do you want to do 7 or 6 o'clock?
Whatever the group wants,
Okay,
I'm fine with either.
Either one, 6
Either
o'clock?
one,
Let's
either
do it
one.
early, 6
Yeah.
o'clock.
6?
6 o'clock. All right? Set?
Go.
Roger that, sir.
So 6 p.m. for the top four,
29th.
30 minutes, Wednesday, the 29th as a special meeting.
Roger that.
Right.
And get the information to us as soon as possible, please.
Yes. Now, let me throw a curveball here. What if, after we get done reviewing this stuff that the administration gives us, what if we don't agree with the top four?
Well,
After reviewing all the material?
well, I mean,
On the 13th, we're gonna come to you with a recommendation of the
recommendation.
top.
Yeah, but the councilman says, what happens if we don't agree on any of the top four? What happens then?
You have the right to reject, or you can either reject everything, or you can direct the administration to bring you back,
Or do
Other-
presentations from everyone.
And then we can't
or
go
do
back to those.
presentations from everybody. You can.
And then you can't go back to those four, correct? Is that how it works?
No, you certainly. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, if you're unhappy with all of those, then you can go back to the pool of
Councilman,
applicants.
we'll bring you, let's say we get 10 respondents.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give you
The top four.
from 1 to 10.
That's
And we'll
what-
say
that's-
these are the
That's
top
exactly
four.
what I wanted to hear.
Right.
If you guys can discuss it and you say, well, I don't want the top four, I want number 8 and 7 to
To
be
come
included,
also.
it's up to you.
That just answers the question right there.
So,
my only
William.
concern with that, and I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, actually, I
My only
interrupted
concern
you.
with that is that as soon as I make a recommendation at the Monday meeting, the cone of silence is lifted.
Correct.
So that means everybody is able to speak openly. So I don't want, if you guys are gonna have that break in between, that you guys are able to talk to, I mean,
Well, I mean, that's fine. I mean, they have to come and register to lobby, and the cone of silence is lifted. The only thing I would say is that whatever we choose, there's got to be a reason for choosing it. That is to say, if there are 10, we can't pick number 8 that's ranked and skip numbers 5, 6, and 7, because essentially the decision will be based arbitrarily.
Yeah.
Right.
And so whatever we decide on, say we're going to take everyone that has scored X or better, and maybe that includes numbers 5 and 6. So the point is, base it on some kind of objective criteria so as to avoid a bid protest.
I have a question. So when I understand you're gonna give us 1 through 10. Are you gonna give us all the supporting documentation for all of them or just the top four?
all of them.
for the recommendation of award, I'll probably just give you the top 4. I mean, it's up to you.
I mean,
If
the
you'd like
information
to-
is
If you'd like
avail-
to see the
right.
information available for that night, I can give it all to you and still make my recommendation of,
Right.
you know, and I'm only overseeing the process. It'll be the committee's recommendation.
Well,
So-
maybe it'll be easier if we don't make a recommendation, we just tell you from 1 to 10 how they scored.
You're throwing it back at
And you,
And you,
pick one.
you ranking them according to who you feel is one, or you just giving us?
No, there's objective,
Alphabetically,
there's
or-
objective criteria inside the RFP based on their offerings in terms of the financial component to
Experience
it,
and
experience, qualifications, so on and so
Cost.
forth. Then the selection committee's responsibility is to evaluate those things and assess a value to those different categories. And what you'll get then is essentially a ranking based on those scores.
Okay.
And then when they come back for you again, you also will have objective criteria against which to score each one of them.
I guess what he's saying is if we rank one 97 points and number 8 is 74 points, you have to have some type of reasoning to eliminate, not take number 1 and take number 7.
When you say we, you mean us?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, you were saying, what if we don't like the top 4? We
No.
want to pick somebody else.
I didn't say that. I want to give credit to the Councilman Best.
No, I think I brought that up.
Yeah.
But you satisfactorily answered my question, though.
Because what I'm concerned is that you give us the documentation for 1 through 4, and then you give us all their names, 1 through 10, and then all we have for the 5, 6, 7, and so on, all we have is names. So we wouldn't be able
Right.
to educate it.
Right.
Let's make it simple. Top four
Top
with
4.
their
that's fine,
ranking.
yeah.
Okay.
I think, again, the administration has demonstrated their ability to you know,
To rank 'em.
peruse his stuff and bring it
You
to
go
us.
top four
fast.
with the ranking and maybe two more sub that maybe you think that council should consider.
Okay.
All right,
So,
with their ranking,
Good.
so that
So
we
6?
possibly might consider 6.
Six.
Okay,
we get the
but
top-
right now we'll go top 4, and let's see what 5 and 6 their ranking, what it comes out to be, or if there's ties, and we can look into them too.
so you're saying the top 6 then, basically?
No, I'm not. I'm saying 4, and then they'll supply us with the
2 more.
5 and 6, and see if we want to go ahead and
put
put them on the list when we have the
replace-
special meeting.
All right, that works.
Mayor, I have a question, please, regarding this. Has anything been done, or is it the same, we had some issues last time, you know, with who was selected clearly, and I wasn't involved with that process, so I'm just wondering if we've done anything different to avoid the issues that occurred with the process?
We put, I mean, certainly the qualifications are more stringent. We also have additional financial disclosures that are required. There are bonding requirements that are now going to be in place, as well as other financial
I don't want to go too much into the
Right.
RFP because we are in the cone of silence, and these are some of the questions that
Right,
have already
but-
come up that I'm waiting for an addendum to. So
Sure,
Fair enough.
absolutely. But
Fair enough.
these things are in the document, and essentially, you know, we it's a balance that has to be struck between how stringent your safeguards are and how many people you want to bid. Certainly, if you make it, you can make it as stringent as an airport concession procurement, and almost certainly no one's going to bid for it. And so it's about, you know, making sure that we've got enough safeguards, making it appealable to someone that's trying to establish a concession there. And then at the end of the day, part of the evaluation criteria and process is ferreting out some of these issues. But we've learned our lessons for the last one.
Okay, certainly. And we do want people to apply, but clearly we don't want someone to apply if they're not going to be able to fulfill what we need, so.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, good. Through the chair, how many do we have at the moment, William, that have applied?
well, nobody's supposed to turn in anything until the
Until the date
and
of.
the
I guess what he
date
says
of.
is, how many have we sent
However,
out?
How many have you given out? Thank
I've
you.
I personally emailed probably a list of 25, 30
Is
candidates.
is that right?
Yes,
Good.
yes.
Wow,
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we got it. 29th, 6 o'clock, top 4,
We're here.
Yes.
2 in the bullpen,
Yes, sir.
and we'll go from
And the
there.
left-hander warming up.
Yeah. 30 minutes. Okay. And nobody talks to anybody till the cone,
No, cone of silence.
till the cone's lifted. We don't want to be like Get Smart where the cone don't work.
Oh, that's such a good show.
Huh? You don't think they know
I
about
said most
Get
people
Smart?
don't even know where the
Everybody in
cone of
this room
silence
knows
comes
about
from.
Get Smart, right? No,
No, but most people don't know that that's where the cone of silence actually comes
came from.
Right, right.
But it never worked.
It really came from there?
Yeah.
No.
They would
And-
have
Yeah,
secret
no, I know. I
conversations.
remember
Put
the-
the cone
the
over their
show.
heads, and they just spend the whole time yelling at each other.
Yes,
And they,
yes.
they
Nobody
stick
heard
their
anything.
head out of the cone to talk to each other.
One
You guys got to watch that. It's hilarious.
It's
And Max would always ask for the cone of silence, and the chief would
Maxwell's
say, "Why do
smart.
you want to do that? It doesn't work, Max." All right. Anyway, we
One
go.
quick thing, real quick, before you move on. You asked how many I've given it to. If somebody comes to you, obviously I don't want you to talk to them about the RFP.
We can't,
However,
we
you
can't.
can refer them to me.
Oh, that.
And just tell them to email me, and I'll be more
Okay,
than
that's good
happy
to know,
to
too.
give them the RFP. It's available online as well on our website, so
Okay.
just refer them
That's-
to the website.
That's not a violation of the cone, really.
Referring them
No.
to the RFP, no. Just talking about the RFP is a
Violation. Yes, correct.
All right. We go to request for direction on purchasing table tickets for Miami-Dade County League of Cities Gala event, May 4th.
I'd like to make a motion that we get a table.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Is everybody gonna be?
Claire
here?
and I will be there, yes.
I'll be there.
'Cause I don't want to eat 2 steaks like I've been before.
The what now?
I don't want to eat 2 steaks like I've had before. I want.
What else is no?
I'll be there.
You're gonna be there?
I don't know about my husband, but I'll be there.
Is there something wrong? No, I'm just kidding.
Ouch.
We'd love to see him there. We would love to see him there.
And if there's steak, maybe he'll come.
He'll come. It's usually a pretty good meal.
Are you going, Mayor?
Yes, sir, I am.
Gracie?
And Grace is going also.
And Maria, and you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Dan,
is that-
and how about the Dan man there?
he'll be on a night.
My firm's the sponsor.
Yeah.
We have a table.
Yeah, he has a special table.
That would make sense.
Maybe the manager and his wife.
Also,
Tammy?
If Mara goes out, it's about 10.
Oh yeah. Do we want to get an extra 2 for you?
why?
Well, if somebody falls out, you can go.
I think.
Well, that's silly. Why don't we
Yeah,
just
you
get him a
just
couple?
Get a table and two
extra seats.
seats. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Our city clerk and our.
And
No,
what-
let's stick with 10. If there's anything that later, you don't need to know exactly now, do you?
No, it's one.
Do we need to know one?
When do you need
When's
to know
the
by?
I
deadline?
can speak to them and see how when the deadline is. They haven't given
The
me
deadline?
Well, let me share something with you. On Thursday, I was contacted by the vice president, Claudia, because they wanted us to go, and we had not reserved
Microphone's
yet,
off.
so they needed to. I told her that I would let her know tonight what we were doing.
His microphone is off.
That seems to be.
Why don't we go with one table, and in my experience in the past, there's always extra seats, so we can add to them if we need to.
next to us. Councilwoman Zapata might even.
You know, at the end, add
All right, we'll
five
go
more
with
tickets
10.
if we need them.
We'll go at the table of 10.
Okay.
Table of 10.
Table of 10.
All right, now we go to other business. We have none. We go to the city attorney. Anything from you, sir?
Just I'll just put on the record what I emailed all of you. I'm pleased to report that the lawsuit that was filed by Anna M. Gonzalez against the city regarding annexation has been dismissed. We had filed a motion to dismiss, which was set for hearing this coming week on March 26th, and rather than defend it and continue prosecuting the case, they dismissed it, leaving just the first matter for annexation purposes, which is Sandra J. et al. Versus the City of Miami Springs. We have a hearing for a partial motion for motion for judgment on the pleadings on May 24th. Now, let's see what happens because annexation might move forward before that. We believe that a lot of this case is not ripe anyway, and so that might change some of the positions in the case. But we'll see.
Okay. And like Mr. Fuentes said, it might delay till June.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, listen, we've been in this game for 14 years.
16.
16, excuse me.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all I have, Mayor.
Manager's office?
No, Mayor, I just think, I don't know if Juan spoke to you about days next week. He needs to know who's going so he can make the arrangements. I think so far, who do we have?
Councilman Petrolanda and Councilman Mitchell and I guess Councilman Best. as
And
well.
Councilman Best?
Yeah, and yourself, I think.
Right.
Is Erica going this year?
No, she's in.
I
when
know
does
she's
she
in
get
Spain, but she'll be back
She'll
by
be
then.
back the first.
She'll be back by
back? She'll
then.
be back.
Monday
Yeah.
the first.
I don't know. Have you checked with her?
Yeah, she indicated to
going?
me that she was interested. I don't know.
Mayor, are you going?
No.
No, Erica, we spoke after the last meeting. We spoke about
Yeah.
it. She said, "Yeah, I think I'd like to
I'll
go."
send her an email and check with her,
Yeah.
but I can make the reservations.
Councilman Best, we just got to make sure that we sit in the right seats.
There's no excuse for him. You know that, right?
Okay, we go to city council. Anything from Councilman Best today?
Bill, I have nothing. Thank you, Mayor.
You got it. Councilman Petrolanga?
Just that I'm on vacation. That's it.
Good for you.
Thank you.
And anything from you?
Mayor, we got some events that she wants to.
Why? You said you had nothing. You just said you had nothing.
Oh.
Councilman Mitchell?
Just I wanted to say that I was asked to be a judge for the Curtis Explorers, the Unsung Hero contest, which ended today, and they had over 100 submittals from elementary school children about. It's really a neat contest because it's unsung heroes, people that you may not know that are really heroes in every life. So they're going to be having that event in May, the announcement of the winners. And I congratulate the Curtis Mansion for always doing so many activities in our community.
Nice.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This Wednesday, March 27th, we have Coffee with a Cop at the Starbucks from 9:30 to 11:30. So we hope that the kids will come out from their spring break. Also, that evening, we have the public workshop for the citywide bicycle and pedestrian mobility study here in the council chambers at 6 p.m. All residents are encouraged to come in and speak on that. March 30th is the Antiques and Collectibles sales that Tammy Key at the Senior Center is sponsoring. That'll be at the Senior Center from 9 to 3. We also have that same evening Earth Hour at the gazebo, where we're going to turn off all the lights and support protect nature from 8:30 to 9:30. On April 2nd, we have our monthly visit from Senator Manny Diaz's office at the council chambers at 11 a.m. April 3rd, we have yoga at the Circle, which is Wellness Wednesday at 7 p.m. April 3rd is the first free class, and then on the 17th is another class. Every additional class after that, it's $10. April 6th is the roller derby game. It'll be the second game that the community center is having at 5:30, and that's again at the community center. That's it.
The roller derby deal, I got good news from the resident there that we handled it very well.
The
So I want to congratulate,
Yes.
I want to
Very
congratulate you all for doing that, and to get her approval, it was a big approval. So make sure we keep it going, like that, okay? And this meeting's adjourned.
Clear my girls.